regardless of circumstances, decisions were made and decisions have consequences.
Yeah.
Just like any actions, nobody really cares about your circumstances. They care about what you did and what the results were.
That's true. How many OF, personalities just all of a sudden like do this for a little while and then become business moguls.
Or they try to do that. Or they try to make that transition.
Well, you will become a mogul, but in the same industry.
Sure.
And then if that's your goal, do it. Go for it. Enjoy. Live your life.
There are lots of consequences that come with it. Like, imagine little Jimmy goes to the schoolyard and their friend Johnny goes ahead and pulls up your profile on his cell phone and says, hey, look what your mom's doing.
I think my dad's a subscriber.
Yeah, it is just gross. It leads to all kinds of crazy stuff. And here's the thing is what self-respecting dude would go ahead and choose to commit to somebody that there is evidence of them just doing all kinds of craziness with other dudes out on the internet for all the world to see. That is just not a healthy thing to have around there. Because generally speaking, if your woman has been around the town, you are less respected for it. All right. Generally, your woman's loyalty and chastity are things that are representative of respectfulness of the man.
That is why it's offered at a premium. That's why you get paid. You can make a lot of easy money.
Oh, yeah. Fast money comes with slow problems.
Yeah. So that's why you can make a lot of money quickly doing that. Because it's a high price for you yourself to pay as offering it. Because you're paying something too. Even though you're getting paid, you're paying something too.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything has a trade-off. And some trade-offs are more obvious than others.
But if that's what you want to do, go off, sis. Go for it. But the more that happens and the more you go into that pathway, the less this pathway that we're talking about, this life's calling, this end goal is going to be accessible.
Sure. And the lower the quality of mate that you can qualify for. It just is what it is. Understand that every decision and every behavior and every action has consequences. And that's just life. So let's go ahead and talk about pathological liars. If she cannot tell the truth to save her life, you should run. You should run. You should go away and disentangle yourself from her because you might be the next person she lies about.
And this is cloaked definitely in that whole victim mentality.
Absolutely.
But this person did this to me and this person did this for you. And we are actually, I think I can safely say we are absolutely, including lying by omission.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously you don't have to spit out your entire sexual history and life story in, one meeting of somebody.
Yeah, that's unreasonable.
You gradually, but if you are getting to that committed stage and they don't know things about you, like why your past relationships have failed, how, far down the rabbit hole you went, with your relationship, your physical relationship and all of that stuff. If it's just all oh, well, this person did this to me, so I had to leave. And it's just okay, one, like we had said before, it says a lot about your judgment. But also, there comes a point where it's there wasn't 10 guys who consistently just did these horrific things to you.
Yeah. And if so, you allowed it to happen.
There was some part, and that's part of the taking responsibility for your failings. If there's nothing to offer at all for any culpability in those failed relationships, in the mistakes you've made in life and all of that stuff,
run quickly.
Run for your life. But also, that is a very strong sign that this could be the condition. Just consistent lying.
Yeah. So I think another thing to consider is, hey, if she thinks her shot clock is running out and she wants you for a baby, you might also want to consider what's going on. There's this thing called the biological clock that, though a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that it exists, it definitely does. Having babies after 30 and especially after 40 gets harder and harder.
Don't get offended when your OBGYN calls your during your prenatal appointments says it's a geriatric pregnancy.
Any pregnancy after 35 or something like that?
Especially every pregnancy after 35. Also, just there's a measure of precautions after even 30. But definitely anything after 35. It was, don't get me wrong, it was kind of cool to like get to do the blood test and find out the gender like before even 20 weeks with the second two that we had.
Right.
That was pretty cool, I will admit. But you know, then you get to, as you come to be full term, there are way more ultrasounds. Like you have ultrasound paper coming out of your ears after that because you have to go for so many because they are tracking very closely any signs of distress with this baby because, sorry, oven's getting on in years. It doesn't work like it used to do. Yeah. So, but yeah, if she's like just after you for your baby gravy.
Usually there's something up.
Any arguments that are, you know, appeals to fear and FOMO, no. Don't negotiate with terrorists.
Don't negotiate with terrorists.
Especially female terrorists, especially pretty female terrorists.
Yeah, because they'll just use it against you. And it's interesting because this alludes to like one of the biggest challenges in being a woman in the modern era is a lot of times there's a conflict between having a career and having a family. And there is such a tight window to have everything put together, to have your best chances, to have everything. I'm of the opinion that you cannot truly have it all because there's always trade-offs. But I think at the same time, it's important to know that what are you willing to pay for that which you want? And I think a lot of people don't spend the time early on enough in life to know that and to know what they're willing to give up.
I can go into a whole monologue about how modern culture, feminist culture, has damaged and done women such a disservice to propel us forward so much that it's you need to have it all. You should get a career and you should have children, and it pulls you every which way. I very vehemently challenge anybody to tell, you know, to show me a trend where women don't, even if they love their careers to high heaven and they love their babies completely and wanted both of those so much that they were not, as much as they wanted their career and they want to progress their career, they did not really seriously contemplate, is this what I really want? Because that pull for, you know, your family and that is just, it's biological. You cannot fight your biology. It's a great thing to have a career. And if that's what you want to do, as long as you navigate it together within your family structure, if it works for your family, do that. But this constant, I was just a stay-at-home wife for 5 years, and I definitely got so what do you do? And I'm like, I stay at home. Oh, do you do any jobs at home or whatever? Do you have kids? No. Do you work at home and stuff? Nowadays, before then, when I was actually a stay-at-home wife, that wasn't even contemplating. They didn't even think about that. But after I said, no, I don't have kids at home, but I stay at home, and the judgy face. And it finally, it took quite a few years to figure out, like, why do I get that judgy face? Like, if I'm happy, why is this so offensive to people?
They just want to yuck in your yum, babe.
Yeah, they're trying to pee in my cereal. Look at that.
How dare they?
And like, if you want to go off and have a career and you can afford daycare and you can do all the things that you want and your kids are very happy and you give them enough attention and you're very happy, I don't care. Like, go off with your bad self. But just because women, especially when we choose to raise families, and even to the detriment of that nice, cushy, like 2-income family, we made a very conscientious choice to be a 1-income family.
Yeah, and it was tough. It was tough for a number of years, and I had to work a lot of extra stuff for us to go ahead and get by and to get ahead.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't me putting in all the hours that I put in for those 10 years straight, we would be nowhere near in the position that we're in now to benefit from.
It was a very conscientious choice. There was sacrifice and
just effort.
Effort, yeah. It was hard, especially when we had an infant and a toddler. I actually spent a whole year where I was very sick. But we kept on and thankfully had a wonderful village behind us to support us in that. And that was a great blessing. But it was a choice, and a choice that we committed to. Yeah. Just like a marriage, you committed to it, and it's hard. But if you act in accordance with your priorities and stick with it.
And it turns out that the best things in life aren't easy.
They are not.
Usually it takes a great deal of work and effort and sacrifice and planning and action to get the best things out of life. And some people are not willing to pay the cost.
Yeah, I mean, especially how many times have we seen, even either like overtly, I've heard it, where they look at where we are right now and they go, oh, it must be nice. I'm like, no, it wasn't nice.
You haven't seen the 15 years that went into it.
The road to get here was not nice. Trust me.
There were bumps, there were bruises, there was all kinds of craziness for it to happen. But because of the effort that we put in and the choices that we made and the convictions that we hold to, that's how we benefit for the long term. Mm-hmm. It's because we put in the work. Speaking of not wanting to put in the work, the next red flag is hissy fits. If you're going to enforce a boundary based on one of your convictions and she throws a hissy fit, there's something there. There absolutely is something there that you need to go ahead and take a look at. If it is a reasonable position to have and to hold for a standard and she just goes crazy, there may be something to look into.
Essentially, if you are going to have somebody tell you a boundary or a standard that they want to adhere to, you're supposed to ostensibly love and be committed to and want to forge through life together with. That's essentially you're a toddler. You're not a grown adult. You are a toddler trying to, throw a fit and hold your breath until they give you what you want. And that's not okay. And it's so interesting how much of a pass women get with this. Rather than, if a man does it, oh, well, you're a man baby.
Well, villainized for going ahead and setting the standard in the first place.
Yeah, but then, if a woman does it, oh, you're just being controlling. It's like, I'm listening to her caterwaul.
But she's just not making any sense.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. If you'd like to see more from this podcast, you can go ahead and click here, where the podcast episode is linked in its entirety. If you're new here, you might want to consider subscribing right here. Thanks so much. Make it a great day.